was offered to an insured woman who fell pregnant. Before this, a mother's, much less a father's well-being wasn't even considered.
Well, my dad didn't really do that much. He, held tight occasionally, but dads weren't really expected to do much. Whereas now they're expected to do everything. And I quite enjoy it.
When I used to go to Mum's and I'd say, I don't feel very well, And she'd say, have you been to the doctor? I said, no, I don't. She said, you always see the doctor? I said, Mum, I'm in my late 30s now. I said, I get aches and pains. I said, it hurts. I said, you've got to get on with, I see the doctor, And I said, she said, no matter how old you are, she said, you're still my baby, because I was the youngest one. Because it doesn't matter how old they get, they're still your child, and you're still sort of protective towards them. And things were straightforward in the 70s and 80s when we were bringing that up, it's sort of, you bought a record player or a hi-fi set, and they bought records and they listened to them. They don't need to do that now. They just sort of stick your headphones in and walk down the street and listen to things. People forget that our generation, we've constantly grown up. There's been 2 or 3 times in our lifetime when we wondered whether we'd be there tomorrow with this nuclear threat. I mean, there was the one in '68 with Czechoslovakia, there was one, Hungary in '58, and then of course we had the '63 one with Kennedy, the Bay of Pigs, and we literally did expect to wake up the next morning when Kennedy said, to Khrushchev, get your bases out of there. We actually did expect to wake up the following morning and find there was a nuclear war. Let's face it, when they did the pump bombings in Birmingham. But the thing is, within 2 days, we were walking around Birmingham town centre and they'd been bombing them, and every day there was a threat.
You hear on the news about all these terrible things happening and think society is a lot different. I'm not so sure it is. I just think that we're living in this media age where you hear a lot more about all these terrible things going on. When you hear the old people say, it was a lot different in my day, and I'm not so sure it was. I just think, especially with all these things coming out the woodwork about where all these children are being abused and things, and you didn't hear that I think it's just that actually when you look back at how long ago it was, then think some things it's just something that the world's just got a more evil place. It's just that we hear about these things. I think there are certainly different pressures for children, but when I was growing up there was always bombings and terrible things happening with the IRA and now it's ISIS, so it's just there's a name change, that's all there is. The only difference for me is that I have now got the worry of my children, whereas before it was my parents worrying about me.
Women were still being sacked in this country until the late 1970s for being pregnant. In 1975, the Employment Protection Act introduced maternity leave for the first time in the UK. But for the first 15 years, only about half of working women were eligible due to long qualified periods of employment. In 1993, coverage was extended to all working women in order to bring Britain into agreement with the European Commission directive on this issue.
Beyond all the sleepless nights and changing of all the dirty and smelly nappies, what are all the really good things that that dads usually do, and they they really enjoy about being a dad as well?
Pretty much everything that Tony does, apart from breastfeeding. That's the only thing that I couldn't do. I play with her all the time, feed her, change her nappy. Yeah, a window when she's moaning. Yeah.
We had some good fun, because Joan, the wife, was working at the time, and I got naturally a lot of them. We used to go all around the countryside, so we got this great thing for going to see churches and cathedrals, and we sort of travelled to all sorts of Saturdays. We'd drop Joan off for work and we'd just tour the countryside, really, we had some good fun. I wasn't really a stay-at-home dad. It was just a case of you always have to muck in, it's like a team. It's teamwork when you get married and you have children. If your wife can't do it, you've got to do it, and vice versa. And let's say I was out a lot because being self-employed and I was all over the country, but when I was at home, I got a day off, or as I say, when Joan was at work in the evenings or on Saturday, which I didn't work, I just took over it, and it was just a natural thing. So I wasn't really a stay-at-home dad. It was just the fact that I did my bit when I had to, you know. In fact, when Natalie got a little bit older, she actually came along once and sort of helped me grout a bathroom at times. But the price she charged me for doing it, I'm not taking her again because she's too expensive, you know. So you can't go back to slave labour, blimey, she nearly bankrupted me, you know. So I did a little bit, did a sponge off, it cost me £5. He only picked a bloody sponge up. You have the normal problems you have with kids, but really she was basically pretty good, you know. We never had any real sort of real worries about her. She never got into any trouble. It's now she gets older, she gets into trouble, you know. So too much of the drink, you say. No, she's all right. She brings this boy home and you think, is he good enough for her? You know. Yes. And I think, well, you know, I wasn't exactly the greatest prize in the world, you know what I mean? No, I was a handsome, talented person when I was in my teens. Well, she's a little bit like me, you know. She sort of sticks to the heels, you know, and, you know, if she decides to do something, there's not a lot you can do about it. I was the same, and she's a bit bombastic like I tend to be as well, you know, so it's criticising other drivers and things like that. And as I was saying to one of my friends now that's got twin daughters, and what are they, 3 now? And I was there the other week, and he said, well, they do tell me that it gets easier as they get older. I said, it don't, Spence. It don't get any easier. Certainly with a girl. I said, it gets harder. I said, it's worse.
Miles is obviously of that age now where all he's interested in is Xbox or PlayStation. So we do play PlayStation and Xbox together. Maddie is a human dynamo, so she's always outside doing something, always wanting to come out and watch her doing something, playing, or and she's the one who will come for a walk with me if I walk the dog. She will go shopping with me, or she will go out with me. You've only got to say that you're going somewhere, and I'll get my coat. So she plays football, so I go and watch her play football. We cook together. Miles loves cooking, so. Yeah, I like to cook, so he's always around me in the kitchen cooking.
In 2003, male employees received paid statutory paternity leave for the first time. As of April 2015, mothers and fathers can take up to 50 weeks of shared parental leave between them, paid at £139.58 a week. This is if both parents are employed at the time. Despite the changes, many families still choose for the mother to go maternity leave. This seems mainly due to cultural stereotypes that are still present in society, and the fact that women still earn on average less than the male partners. Therefore, they would take the lower paid leave.
Oh, that's quite good actually. That's brilliant, you get to spend time with the little one. Oh yeah, especially when she's this small. Otherwise you'll miss out on everything. First time they smile and, well, first word soon. Yeah.
Where was that when I was young? You see, I could have had a few days. When I was tiling somebody's bathroom and there's a horrible customer, I could do, well, I'll have some time off when she said. I mean, that's the thing. I did I have time off? I had a little bit of time off when Natalie was born. But, you know, we couldn't afford, I think I'd give me 2 or 3 days off, and that's just back at work, you know. That's never had things like that. And of course, the thing is, if I didn't work when I was you didn't get paid, you know. So you just to carry on, you know.
So why take paternity leave? A recent analysis of data on more than 4,000 women from an English National Maternity Survey found that moms whose partners hadn't taken paternity leave were more likely to report feeling ill or unwell at 3 months. Fathers who took formal leave were 25% more likely to change nappies and 19% more likely to feed the 8-12 months old babies and get up to them at night.
research shows that it's best for a dad to stay home with his baby, at least for the first 24 months of the development. I want to say a big thank you to Keith, Andy and Michael for being part of this documentary. And I really feel that I learn a lot about being a father. I feel that it's good to be involved in the life of the baby and not just leave, for the mom to do everything. And I think I'll definitely gonna take the 2 weeks of paternity leave, and I'm hoping that I will be a good dad myself. I try my best, but we always do mistakes, as my parents always said to excuse themselves. So thank you for watching this documentary. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you.